Okay.
Are there any myths or anything out there about what colloidal gold can do to your health? Like any setbacks?
Setbacks, the only thing you don't do with it, you don't use it for an extended period of time because it can have an overwhelming effect on the kidneys. Don't get caught up in some of these things that you're going to be, you know, taken to a new nirvana, universal, whatever. Okay, there may be some elements to that as well. I'm not going to deal with that. That's a matter of your personal belief systems. Some people don't believe in using gold at all because gold can actually fry your cells, which is true if you take too much. Gold should be balanced with silica, which carrot has. Okay, silica needs to be with gold. So if you're using a colloidal gold supplement, make sure you're taking silica with it. It has to be there to balance the gold out because gold will energize the cells and will revitalize you. And like I said, in a short period of time, you can feel the difference. During the Second World War, when soldiers were shot and wounded and had deep, deep, deep incisions, they would sprinkle gold leaf into the wound, wrap it up, and 3 days later it was healed. Okay, so this has got some science behind it. All right, now, we've got all this left over. All right, all this left over. So what are we going to do with it? Okay, some of you will use it for coleslaw, which is good. Me, I'm not a big veggie eater. I get my veggies from eating animals that eat grasses. That's how I get my veggies. Now I do do my juicing. I will get it that way. I don't like my veggies cooked. I don't like them processed. I like them raw if I'm going to eat them. I don't eat a lot of them. And some of you are like me. You don't eat a lot of them. And some will say, well, your acid levels, it's all nonsense. I can neutralize my acid levels in 5 seconds. That's another thing we're going to talk about in some part of the show. Don't get caught up on the alkaline acidity thing. Unless you've got a serious issue going on, your alkaline levels don't need to be up at the roof. They need to be neutral, between 6.5 and 7.5. Anything beyond or below that, that's when you have a problem. Unless you've got an issue, don't get caught up in that hype because it's just about selling you some product that you don't really need. And the simplest way to maintain alkalinity is baking soda, ascorbic acid, 2 ounces of water, mix it up and drink it. And do that before going to bed and then test your alkalinity the next day. Simple little tidbit. All right. Some of you are going to say, you went too fast. We'll do it again. All right. We're going to take some of this. Okay? Throw a handful. You don't need much. In your blender. Then we're going to add, now see, this is what we got out of that. Okay, 3 pounds. Okay, just a little bit over a kilo. 1.5 kilos actually, okay? That's what we got out of that. Which is good, but we're going to make it a little bit more. Now, this is distilled water. I'm going to probably get somebody on YouTube saying, well, you're using a plastic container and it's got all these things in it. That is true, but it's only got one thing. Not 70,000. Tap water has 70,000 contaminants. This only has maybe the plastic. Big deal. My system can handle that a heck of a lot easier than 70,000 properties. So don't get caught up on that either. There is a big push on this to reduce plastics. I agree with that. This should all be in glass anyway. I don't know why it isn't, but hey, somebody had this great idea somewhere in the past that we need to use plastics, and plastic ate everything. Now we have an ocean full of plastic. So I agree, we should have these in glass, not plastic. Even these materials that we're using should technically be in a glass. I prefer glass. Notice what I'm using here is glass, glass, glass. That's what I use. Now, I am just like you. I can't afford to buy all the high-end, so-called, quote-unquote, orgasmically organic stuff, because a lot of that is a lot of hoopla, doopla, to do as well. So I use what I have, and then I negate it some way. Alright? And we're going to show you some of that later on too. Alright, so water, distilled water or reverse osmosis. We're going to blend this up. Now, you want to add more? Add more. this is what we're doing now. Okay? We're going to take that. This is a jelly bag, just so you know. It's a nylon mesh jelly bag. It's porous. You can get them that are non-porous. If you can't find these things, I don't like cheesecloths because cheesecloth lets too much through. Get an old handkerchief, an old pillowcase, an old sheet, cut it in segments. You know, put it long enough so that you can put something on the outside and put a rubber band around it so that it keeps it in place. Pour it through. Ah, that's a beauty, don't you think? Now, see that? That's pretty weak, right? Now, notice why I'm using this? Look at that. See the ease of squeezing this out? Okay, now we're going to use that water again. Now, if you really want to, just give it a good... Alrighty. Take the leftover. Because you're going to save this too. You're not done. I'm going to show you how to make a vitamin out of this. Haha. A different mix. Now, we take this, throw it back in the blender. Take this, aha, throw it in there. This is what's known as a carrot juice concentrate. Notice how it's starting to get darker? Because we're extracting or extruding, however you want to put it, more and more. So, again, we pour it through. Now, some of you don't have a whole lot of hand strength. See this? This is a mini press. Press whatever you want with it, apples, garlic, whatever. But you can also use it to press this out. I'll show you a little trick on that. Use what you have. Use this. Okay? Use this. This is what God gave you this for. Use your head. Use your brain. This is one way of doing things. Not the only way. It's not, thus saith Tony kind of thing. This is one way. Alright? So take it. Now, some of you are going to say to me, well, the blender you got is a little special blender. Use whatever you got. Just do it in smaller portions. You don't need to, you don't have to follow me exactly. This is not an exact science. Okay? See how it's getting darker and darker. Now, I got a pretty strong grip, but some of you don't have a strong grip. Okay, so fold that over, throw it in there. Okay? See, it's doing the work for you. Now you can put a little bit more in there, or like you see how it's flattened it out? Take it, do it sideways again. See? This is for some of the older people who don't have strength, or some of you who may have severe arthritic issues. You can do it that way as well. This one here may be too big for this particular thing, but I've used this for like heavier spices, which I have a heavier, denser material, and I'm squeezing, and then I can't get as much. I get as much as I can, and I put it in there, and then I squeeze it some more, and I get another, a couple ounces. Okay, so see, and just give it a good ring. You know what I mean? All right. So once that's done, again, throw it. You're saving this. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away.